Hey guys, it's been a while. This is Gadget, and this time we're going to be reviewing the Clair air purifiers. Now, this is a new air purifier that is from Korea, and this is a little different from other air purifiers in that other air purifiers use something called HEPA filters, which I'll get into later. Instead, this uses a new patented technology called the E2F filter. Now, we got this a couple of weeks ago. We've been using it around for a bit just to see what it's like and how it is. So yeah, let's get started. First thing out of the box is the air purifier itself. Now, when you get the air purifier, it looks like this. The design is actually quite nice. I've seen a lot of other air purifiers, and nothing really looks quite nice as this. It's got nice sturdy rubber for the bottom so it doesn't slip. All it has is one power button on the top and 3 LED lights, and this is for the various power settings. So this would be low, medium, and high. On the bottom here, this is where you plug in the I guess the AC adapter or the power cord. And on the inside of the filter, this is held together by magnets. So over here are magnets, and this is the metal part. So this is held together by a magnet. And the E2F filter, this is it. This is the E2F filter that it comes inside the air purifier when you first receive the product. We'll go into everything in a little more detail in a little bit, but for now, let's see what else is inside the box. The next thing is going to be this little box here. This thing only holds the power adapter. There'll be an extra box in here, but this is just a filler so that the box with the AC adapter doesn't move around too much. So this is what you get, and this is how it comes. And it's pretty simple. This is the AC adapter that you get, and on the bottom of the box you'll get two more things. First, you'll get the user manual. This is actually pretty easy to use, so I really don't think you'll be using this. The next thing is the brochure. Now, this brochure will explain the E2F filter technology and everything, so you have a better understanding of how it works. All right. So this, you can actually probably see on their website, all the information on this brochure. And this is everything that you get in the box. All right, before I explain more about the E2F filter, first I'd like to just quickly go over again how to open this. This, like I said before, is attached by magnets. So all you need to do is, this is the front, just face it down, and then this is the top of the filter, just pull it off. It's pretty simple, and then when you put it back on, it'll just snap on. It should snap on like that, okay? All right, so now let's get into the E2F filter. Now, the first thing you'll notice when you see the E2F filter is that it's actually very, very porous. In fact, it seems a lot more porous than HEPA filters. And the reason why is because it actually is. HEPA filters, the way they work is that they have tiny, tiny pores. And because of these tiny pores, you need powerful fans to drive air through it. But for the E2F filter, it actually has a static electricity charge in the filter itself. Now, I'm not sure if you've seen Clair Air's YouTube videos, but one of their videos clearly shows the E2F filter on its own will pick up small pieces of paper or tissue directly off of a table, even without touching it. And that's because there is static electricity charge in the filter itself. And that static electricity charge actually attracts the smaller air particles, which is why it can afford to be so porous, which on the other hand, HEPA filters cannot. The reason why they have such small pores is to catch those smaller particles because it doesn't have a static electricity charge. And now that brings me to my next point, which is the fan. Now, if you look at the bottom of this fan, I'm not sure if you can see it quite well, but there's a lining of rubber underneath it, and it's very tightly screwed in. So there's no worry about, for any air to accidentally go around the filter and into here. All the air that gets filtered through this cannot pass through this while getting unfiltered by the E2F filter. Okay. Now, like I mentioned, the power is if you see this is a very small fan, and the reason why it doesn't require a small fan, like I mentioned before, is because of static electricity charge. So if you actually calculate the amount of power that it uses, and I did the math already, you can use this on high setting, and this will only use 2.4 watts per hour. It actually only comes out to about $2.40 a year. That's assuming 11 cents kilowatt hour. As opposed to standard HEPA filters, which might go anywhere from 60 to 100 watts. And if it's 60 watt, in that case, it'll come out to, in a year, if you run it 24/7, over $60, almost $70. So just the intrinsic way that the E2F filter was made allows you to have a smaller fan, so it requires less power to actually operate it. Alright, now I'm going to turn it on so you guys can see how it sounds and what it's like. Alright, when you first turn it on, first time you press it, this is the low power. This is the low setting. I'm not sure if you guys can hear it very well, but from my perspective, this is pretty much silent. I can barely hear it. I'm right next to it. Okay. The next setting, medium, bumps it up a notch, and you can see on the top, two LED lights come on when it's on medium power. And here it's a little bit louder, but it's not actually too bad. When you sleep with it on medium, consider it as white noise. You know, it's just like a very constant, soothing noise. It's not very loud, or a lot of HEPA filters, they actually have very loud fans even on medium power, and you can't really sleep with it. But for this, it's very constant, soothing sounds, like white noise. It's not bad. For the high, that's when it actually starts to become a bit more noticeable, the sound. Personally, when I was sleeping, I never put it on high. I actually only put it on high when I was not in the house. When I wasn't at home, I left it on high so it could filter out the air more. And then when I got back home or were about to sleep, actually, then I brought it back down to low or medium, or however I felt. All right. All right. Now I actually want to talk about the smell. To be sure, the Clair air purifier emits no odors, no smells whatsoever. Well, that's because the E2F filter, because it has an E2F filter, it doesn't require a separate ionizer or carbon filters or anything like that. For comparison, I had an old HEPA air purifier that had a carbon filter. Now, the carbon filter in itself, it works great for absorbing odors. But the problem is when you first receive it, oftentimes it doesn't come pre-packaged. It's actually opened and already installed into your air purifier, which causes problems because the entire time it's in the air purifier, coming out of the factory, in the truck on its way going to you, is actually absorbing smells this entire time because it's not separated from the air. So because of that, when you first receive it, a lot of times actually people report smelling things like paint thinners or toluene, things like that, and it emits a very very strong odor, and it's because of the carbon filter. The Clair air purifiers have nothing like this, so it's completely safe. There's nothing damaging about your health. And speaking of damaging of health, actually because it has no ionizer, it doesn't produce any ozone whatsoever. Because as you may know, ionizers use charged plates and to ionize the air particles, but because of that, it also creates ozone at the same time. And as you may know, ozone is not good for you. Ozone is good for our atmosphere, but it's not good for our lungs. So with this, does not create any ozone because it has no ionizer. Right. As I mentioned in the beginning, we actually received this product a few weeks ago. So I've actually been using this for the past few weeks, just so I can have experience with it, so I know what it's like. And personally, I kept this on my nightstand right next to my bed. The first couple of nights I left it on low, but the sound wasn't so much, so I actually moved it up to medium and to see if I can actually sleep with it. For some people, it might be a little bit too loud if it's right next to your head, but for me personally, I enjoyed the white noise. It was very comforting, very relaxing to me, so I left it on medium. For high, right before I left for work every day, I put it back on high, and then when I got back home, I put it back down on medium or low. So this is how I've been using it for the past maybe around 2-3 weeks or so. And I would say that it has actually improved the air quality quite a bit. Where I live, there's a bit of pollution, so if I open up the windows, there's a lot of dust that comes into the room. But with this on, so in the mornings, sometimes I might have like a slight sore throat, or I might have a small cough. And sometimes it's actually around allergy season as well. So sometimes I might wake up and I'll be sneezing uncontrollably. Ever since I've been using this unit, actually, within the first few days, it was still kind of the same. But as I kept using it after maybe about a week, about 2 weeks or so, that's when I noticed that my symptoms in the mornings actually started disappearing entirely. I would wake up, I would no longer have those sneezing fits from my allergies. And I just noticed that I would be breathing more easily in the mornings, because a lot of times I might have phlegm or I have a sore throat, and those symptoms are all pretty much gone in the mornings now. Ever since I've had this, not ever since, but maybe 2-3 weeks after I've had this, so after I had some time to clean out the air and stuff. So overall, I would highly recommend this product. It works very well. It's very safe, and because of the E2F filter, you could use this in your baby's room or just anyone with sensitive respiratory tracts. So if you very easily get allergy symptoms or very inflamed sinuses, then I would recommend using this because, like I said, it doesn't produce any ozone, it doesn't have any chemical smell to it or anything like that. It's just the E2F filter and the fan, and it works really well. Alright, this is Ghost Gadget signing out.